This is Michael Kornbluth, your host for the Do It All Dad Year podcast. Controlling our kids with comedy can make our kids great again. This is dad-friendly entertainment for you and me. And this is episode 16. Kanye West knows friendship best. Yesterday, I yelled at Cortana, my voice powered assistant that's hooked up to my Harman Kardon speaker that's connected to my Spotify, just to clarify for you baby boomers not keeping up with me. So I yell, Cortana, play Hey Jude by Wilson Pickett. And my daughter, my 7-year-old daughter, asked in disgust, why would you yell at Cortana, Hey Jude? And I said, because Cortana is stealing musical royalties away from Kanye West in any Spike Lee film ever made. In case you didn't catch that joke exactly, if you didn't grow up in New York and were addicted with sucking off New York-based filmmakers like Woody Allen and Spike Lee, etc., in every Spike Lee film, every Jew that's portrayed is a predatory scumbag that works in the music business or Hollywood in some capacity. So Kanye West has come out, ladies and gentlemen, stating his undying love for Donald Trump. He calls him a brother. He pointed out the fact that they shared the same dragon energy. He is completely behind the Make America Great Again motif. He believes in it. He's a proud American. He called out Barack Obama, saying after 8 years, nothing in Chicago changed. He is born and raised from Sweet Home Chicago. So if anyone has an informed perspective, someone that's as evolved as Kanye West, he would be that individual. So yesterday, a very exciting day on Twitter, folks. Very exciting. Even James Woods got particularly giddy. I'm paraphrasing here. He says, first Kanye West piqued my interest, and then he dropped the Obama bash tweet, and then he goes, but now he's dazzling me. Now he's dazzling me. But you know what would dazzle me? What would truly dazzle me, and I don't see Kanye going down this DEFCON 5 road just yet. It's not really a style. More of an artist, he's not a comedian. However, what would really dazzle me is if Kanye West, especially after all these late night talk show hacks, say, well, how could you be friends with Donald Trump when he's friends with Nazis, blah, blah, blah. I would love it for Kanye West to go on Colbert and say, so Colbert, who do you think hates black people more? The Democrats or Barack Obama? Who do you think Barack Obama hates more? Jews or African Americans? Who do you think loves Hitler more? Donald Trump or Barack Obama? And Kanye West says, I'm going to go with Barack Obama. Barack Obama definitely loves Hitler more than Donald Trump. Barack Obama wishes he was that organized. Mass extermination of all of his hook-nosed, Lower East Side critics would be a gas. So that would dazzle me. Truly. And I will say this. Love is a strong word, but I do love Kanye West now. Because what is he promoting? He's promoting freedom of thought and not subscribing to what your Facebook feed tells you. And he's a real individual. He's a true artiste. Lou Reed gave him nothing but high props towards the end. If anyone has earned the right to give the kick-ass artistic label, it's Lou Reed. Kanye West has done stuff with Paul McCartney as well. And let's not forget the fact that Kanye West recorded an album with Jay-Z at the Mercer Hotel, the most bowling move of all time, and they recorded an unbelievable song called Otis. That's completely insane. That is for Otis Redding, for you Millennial Musketeers that don't have parents that expose you to loving, spoonful, soulful music, like the Big O. He's got a great live album in Paris that you have to check out. Guy was hugging like a moose, on top of everything else. Sitting in the dock of the bay. Pearl Jam does a great cover of that. I like to spoil you guys with some musical jewels of information for you to take full advantage of when I can. So I was talking about Kanye West. So this is my attitude about Kanye West. Now, again, I have utmost respect for his originality. As far as I'm concerned, hip-hop artists, we're talking like Nas. Now understand, like, Kanye West also did the beats for Jay-Z. He did beats for Nas. And then he decided, you know what? I want to be a premier hip-hop lyricist. And that's what he did. A guy, Chris Herring, that I follow, I knew that he was going to be a big-time writer. He used to do a column for the New York Knicks on the Wall Street Journal. Now he's like hosting his own TV show. He's back in Chicago. I remember him being a huge Kanye fan. And he's a very smart African-American, went to the University of Michigan, very young, very successful. He was very complimentary of my writing. And he still follows me. And I have certainly promoted plenty of Make America Great Again type of material on my Twitter feed, ad nauseum. So I was going to tell Chris Herring, I love you, dude. You're great. I always knew you were great. And I'm so glad you're kicking ass and that you're able to do what you love to do. And I'm not stalking here. I just saw something in your feed recently. I'm so glad that your father is able to smile from above on you. Because you are rock solid. And when I asked you for a favor, and I was trying to get that information for the guy that worked for the Journal, and I was trying to get a sports TV writing job, you were cool. And you hooked me up with an email address, and you were very complimentary. I was pitching a pilot to VH1 Classic back then. All of a sudden, my producer puts his name on. He's like, that's your information. I never even met the guy. But Chris Herring, I love you. Because that is Kanye West's motif, ladies and gentlemen. He says we should all love each other. He has a friend that now says I love you every day to his friends. Which I think is great. But I got to be honest. You know, not everyone is as evolved as Kanye. Not everyone. Kanye has also had incredible success. Apparently, Kanye, according to him, makes more money off of his baller wear shoes than Michael Jordan. Okay? He's banging Kim Kardashian. Okay? Which is definitely, if we're going to rank Persian porcupine puss, would definitely be at the top of the Persian porcupine poundage food chain. Glad we could establish that. So, and she has a sweet voice. And it was nice that she came out to defend her husband. Obviously, writing is not her best strong suit. But I love the fact that she defended her man. Perhaps Kanye's got her on a Patsy Cline, sort of motif. I'm using the word motif way too often. Patsy Cline saying, stand by your man. Right now, I've just turned off anyone from listening to the podcast ever again. Obviously, I was not blessed with the singing voice. So, back to what I was saying about Kanye, is that Kanye West taken like 400 plus days since Trump got inaugurated for him to come out and say, yeah, I'm on the Trump train. I'm all for Make America Great Again. As far as I'm concerned, for him to do this now is beyond fashionably late, even by Axl Rose old school standards. Plus, no offense, Kanye, and you know I love you, but I was all set sporting pink polos a decade ago and forming my own dragon analogies before you were. When it's all said and done, I don't call myself Dragon Lungs for nothing. Also, I was spitting fire at Obama already, and I don't have a pot to piss in, as my father would say. So you could say that I also got 3 kids and a wife that's basically lost her patience with me. Different situation with you and Kim. So I wouldn't really say that you're completely blowing up your paper generation avenues altogether. At least you have revenue generation avenues. And I'm very glad you do. But all I got to say is this, and I mentioned this before. All of my rock star idols, and I'm talking idols, people that I think are great writers, great, who really sing with tremendous feeling, great attitude. And I am talking about Bruce Springsteen, Neil Young, Bob Seger, Jay-Z, Eminem. I'll include Snoop on the list. Definitely not cracking that top 3 right there. But all these people have subscribed to the Trump is a Nazi, I'm ashamed he's our president, I wish he was dead, blah, 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 right? So all I gotta say, and take this to the bank, by Kanye West coming out yesterday saying, I love my president, we share the same drag energy, his success is my success, by just doing that alone, and also pointing out Barack Obama's failure to do anything about his alleged sweep home from Chicago, that alone, as far as I'm concerned, makes Kanye West by far the true class act out of all those musicians mentioned. And he's already, in one swoop, upstaged them all. So Kanye talks about loving, always saying to love your friends. And that, that's what makes the world move around. You can be controlled by love or hate. Very deep stuff. But again, that joke that I shared with you before, the Hey Cortana, the Hey Jude, my daughter confused her for saying Hey Jew. A lot of my friends from high school, they didn't respond. It got goonish. And they're a part of my Jewy contingency. And I'm not going to let it bother me, because I've realized in life you shouldn't define a friendship based on whether they respond to text or not. But if it's an A- joke that's as topical as this, and I would expect for you guys to be proud, prideful New York Jews, I'd say some love is in order. However, the real friendship litmus test is after you have a child that's born, it's all about the acknowledgement from your inner sanctum, friends you know, people that you've called friends, people that have attended your wedding. And what I love about Kanye is that, he called out Jay-Z, saying on Twitter, you say we're brothers, but you haven't come to visit my son. I think that his kid's name is North. You haven't visited my son once. That was very powerful and a very relevant theme for the Do It All Dead Year podcast. And after all, this episode is called Kanye West Knows Friendship Best. And I could spin it, I could be nice, but the bottom line is this. I got a kid, my lovely Samuel. He's a year old and change. I do have some friends that have seen him. The majority have not. Obviously, you have 3 kids. The novelty or the newness of you being a father or the specialness is taken down a notch. However, and I completely agree with Kanye, if they're a true brother, that's not blood related, but a true brother that shares your dragon energy blood or whatever, that really loves you, that really can't wait to celebrate more beautiful, hilarious manifestations of you, or just sweet manifestations of you. You don't have to be hilarious. If they're not going to make that effort, they're not going to go out of their way, find the time to greet your new beautiful baby into this world, then chances are you weren't that close to begin with. Now, is that a reason, according to Kanye, that's not a reason to fume and to all of a sudden unload on these people 24/7. But it is a great friendship litmus test, and at least you know where you stand. So I guess my advice here for all you aspiring Do It All dads, if you want to figure out who your true friends are, have a baby. See how they react. See if a year goes by. See if they've made any sort of effort to inquire or ask or even remember the kid's name. Then again, most guys are as deep as the 18th hole, and they're not strong in names. And they just care about themselves. But, again, they're good friends. They're going to make the effort. I'm sorry, women should not have a complete monopoly over, going out of their way to, hang out with the newborn, okay? Not all newborns are, disgusting, misshapen, baldy aliens that are just, complete spazzes that stink up the place 24/7, that have no social graces that you want nothing to do with. I think my kids would have spoiled me rotten. I got to be honest with you. That's what my brother always tells me. He works in the Russian business. Josh, Michael, you have no idea how lucky you are. I had that slip right there because, again, documented as Michael Joshua Kornbluth. It's a mouthful, I know. Kim Kardashian can't wrap her mouth around it. I had to throw out that joke in honor of Kanye. I love the fact that she said one with the black schlong. That's all that joke means. Nothing more, nothing less. Nothing wrong with that. So, today, Charlie Rose, he was, I learned on Twitter that he's going to be interviewing all of these celebrities that were victim to the Me Too movement. How sick is that these guys are being portrayed as victims, right? So, and this happened to be on the day that Bill Cosby was finally convicted for the rapist, predator, scumbag of the lowest order that he is. So let's give a round of applause for our justice system. I mean, can anyone in my audience honestly name a high-profile celebrity that actually got just due punishment? Not that there's really any sort of just due punishment at this point. Even if, like, Hadabisi had his way with the Minaj. I mean, the numbers are just staggering. I hope Jerry Seinfeld does not smirk for the next year, okay? I want Jerry Seinfeld to be freaking smirkless, all right? Smirkless. I'm just so glad that they finally convicted him, so I didn't have to justify this court decision about Bill Cosby to my daughter. I didn't have to justify to my daughter Bill Cosby being let go free by the jury for 4 decades worth of rape. How would I justify that to my daughter? What would I say to her exactly? That in the end, Matilda, the jury was a worse judge of character than Seinfeld? That the jury in the end, in a post-Barack Obama, identity politics obsessed universe, had a very hard time prosecuting a African-American, an articulate African-American who sports so many family-friendly sweaters? Thank God I don't have to give that explanation to my daughter anymore. Justice has been served. Hallelujah. Can I get an amen? I say amen. That's for you, Kid Rock. So, this is my impersonation of Charlie Rose interviewing hip-hop mogul Russell Simmons on his Me Too victim special. Here we go. Charlie Rose addressing Russell Simmons. Did you rape any of the women who accuse you of rape, Russell? And this is Russell Simmons. Read my lisp, Charlie. I didn't rape any of those over-the-hill hoes. So the UN, I don't know why I'm mentioning them, but the UN hates Israel. Everyone knows that. Yet Pope Francis thinks they can strike a truce with Palestine. Yeah. And Kayne West is giving away his Spotify royalty points and props to Taylor Swift. If I have a major beef with Kanye, it's that Taylor Swift moment. I mean, I'm going to blame Barack Obama to a certain degree. You know what? I am not going to blame Barack Obama. I am going to blame Kanye West. I don't know if he's in love with Beyonce. I remember him getting up there saying, well, Beyonce deserved the award, and I think it belongs to her. Now, I understand that Taylor Swift has a limited voice. You know, we all love, the long legs and everything, even though for me, she's a little too teeny anorexic, for my taste. I have a daughter. I just cannot really, get into that. However, was a dick move. I mean, definitely a cock-blocking dick move of the most extreme order. And if I was Taylor Swift, I would just... Now, if I was Taylor Swift, I would have a very hard time saying, I love you, Kanye. I love you for embarrassing me in front of gazillions of people. I love you completely disregarding all of my hard work and unique specialness. Writing songs, I am spilling my guts out, and you just dance on them with your fancy designer shoes saying, well, Beyonce is Beyonce, she's married to Jay-Z, and she's the self-anointed queen of R&B hip hop legend, so let's just give it to her because I say so, because I have an ego and I used to do beats for Jay-Z, and I have artistic village voice critics cred. So screw you, pound salt, go back down south, you inbred heck. So I totally get Taylor Swift not really jumping on the I love Kanye bandwagon. However, very interesting crossroads right now, because Taylor Swift is also one of those celebrities that has refused to bash Donald Trump, similar to Dolly Parton. Where everyone on the hardcore left said, well, you have to do that or else you're a Nazi. She's not subscribed to that group thought either. So let's give some props to Taylor Swift, Dolly, and Kanye. They should do a movie together. I should write it for them. You know what? I will include you guys in my play that I eventually write. If I could get a freaking advertiser for this podcast, for the Do It All Dad Year podcast, Dad Friendly Entertainment for you and me. And the name of this play is called Birth of an Altruist. Birth of an Altruist. And it's based on Donald Trump. Now, why is this based on Donald Trump? The reason why is because I read such a touching story. Bob Kraft, owner of the Patriots, very good friends of Donald Trump. His wife of like 40 years died. One of those legendary, awesome, lifelong marriages. And Bob Kraft, very close to his wife. So Donald Trump, for the following year, called his friend Bob Kraft once a week. Or, you know what? I think it was once a day, actually, for an entire year to see how he was doing. Which blew me away. I would say Donald Trump, according to Kanye, more than passes the Kanye West friendship test. I mean, what a match. I mean, that's amazing. I'm pining about so-called high school friends showcasing 0.0 effort to see my fucking son. That's like a year and like 3 months now. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is a true friend calling his friend Bob Kraft every day for a year after his wife died. And I wanted to set up this play. I figure I could throw a part for the Baldwin that was in Usual Suspects. I forget his first name. The Alec Baldwin has completely cut off the list, tried to demonize. We give him a part. And the reason why is because this. So, because we make the play, because I truly believe that Donald Trump, listen, he's not collecting a paycheck. His attitude was very similar to what Kanye said. Barack Obama left this country a mess, and someone had to clean it up. If you watch old footage on the internet, he had expressed certain interest in running before, but never did. And he felt a call to action, as they say in like the screenplay world. And boy, has he risen to the occasion. I am so proud of my president, a Queens-born New Yorker like myself. President Donald J. Trump is making America great again. And so it's great that Kanye is able to like jump on the Trump train now. Better late than never. But what most excites me about Kanye jumping on this Trump train is that it's a testimonial to how good Donald Trump is at establishing friendships. And friendships make the world go around. And I've always been obsessed with the concept of friendship. And saying I love you really does lift weights off your shoulders. I had a conversation with my brother yesterday. I spoke to him in about 4 months. We had a huge fallout, not going to get into it. But he's going to get engaged. And just to say I love you felt wonderful. He got a little choked up. We were both able to agree, find some common ground. He's never been like the biggest Trump supporter, but he's really not that politically informed, which is okay. But you're just in San Francisco. I said, yeah. So I hear it's a complete dump now, and the homeless people are more touchy-feely, entitled, psychotic, crazier than ever. He's like, yes. There we go. I knew we could agree on something. I think we're talking basketball, and that was wonderful. So, and I truly believe that Donald Trump got more spiritual than he ever was by barnstorming the heartland of America. When he was doing he was literally doing three-hour stump speeches a day while Hillary Hammer Time Cankles, was like passing out, after her bottle of Kate Bright Cellars, Chardonnay. Couldn't even like stand on her own 2 feet. So, again, and I've expressed this before, but that's what drives me the most crazy. And I know that Twitter is only a microcosm of the majority of America. And I totally get that. But nonetheless, it just drives me crazy that young people today, that they don't respect the true meaning of hustle. They don't respect the power of the clothes. They don't respect being your own phrase maker. They don't respect generating your own ideas that go against the grain. They don't respect trusting your gut and not being controlled by fear, which is what Donald Trump embodies. I worked as an IT headhunter forever. I read Art of the Deal when I was taking improv acting classes in Los Angeles back in the day. If you're going to think big. So thank you, Don. Great advice. And I wouldn't be doing this podcast right now without your influence in some capacity. So thank you. I love you too. Keep up the great work. So the other day, my daughter says, Dada, what does sensitive mean? So I'm going to tell you, you're very sensitive. She goes, Dada, what does sensitive mean? And I said, quick to have your feelings hurt, knowing Kayne West knows friendship best. I just wanted to throw that in there. That wasn't my exact response, obviously. So I just think it's funny. I was talking about Me Too and Charlie Rose doing that special to highlight all of the victims, all the men victims of the Me Too movement. And by the way, this is great that I always said that the Me Too movement, the hashtag campaign, it means nothing unless the two big fish went down. Bill Cosby being number one. Thank God he's finally going downtown. Thank God. So this is an impersonation of Charlie Rose interviewing Ricky Gervais. So Ricky Gervais has not been accused of any sort of sexual harassment or anything. But, as we all know, Ricky Gervais, the greatest Golden Globe host of all time, has no problem holding back and letting it rip. So this is Charlie Rose interviewing Ricky Gervais. He goes, Ricky, did you know that female dragonflies play dead to prevent themselves from getting raped on the spot? And Ricky Gervais responds, of course I do. Bill Cosby victims call this wishful thinking. So, the next guy to go down, I pray, is Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein. But at least Harvey Weinstein's wife is no longer with Harvey Hair Clumps Weinstein. No longer with that monster. She finally divorced him so she could focus on her lifetime battle with amnesia. So, I just think it's funny knowing any girl would date Aziz Ansari. I mean, how many Kanye West impersonations in the form of Alvin the Chipmunk can you stomach before your tiki masala is served? So this is another impersonation of Charlie Rose interviewing Bill Cosby. Although I don't really see Bill Cosby getting out of the slammer for this one unless it's on the premises at Leavenworth. I don't even know if Leavenworth still exists. Charlie Rose addressing Bill Cosby in his Prison Blues. Cosby, did your rape numbers go down significantly after Leo used your last remaining Quaaludes in The Wolf of Wall Street with Jonah Hill? And Bill Cosby responds, fuck you, Charlie. Don't let my family-friendly sweaters fool you. I'll F you up on camera right now on the spot, bitch. This is my impersonation of Charlie Rose in the middle on the Upper West Side on a Sunday. Some chesty blonde approaches him out of the blue. This is Charlie Rose. Do you want a dick pic or not? And no, I don't want your mom's phone number. So it just drives me crazy that all these talk show hosts had an opportunity to actually, and I'm talking about the Kimmels, the Conans, the Trevor Noahs, all had an opportunity last night to say something positive about what Kanye West has added to the dialogue in our country. I mean, guys and ladies, couples have been divorced over this fake Russian collusion narrative tale that has always had less legs than Lieutenant Dan. Lifelong friendships, alleged friendships, severed. Yet you have a guy, smart, self-made, articulate, barometer of cool, Kanye West, definitely his own man. No, he's no one's puppet. He's no George Soros puppet. Says, listen, I love Trump. He's got my dragon energy. I'm all for Make America Great Again. And all they got to do is resort back to the old, well, how can you be friends with the guy that has, who's friends with Nazis? I'm so sick of it. I am so sick of it. Trump is the new Hitler. And what? Inglourious Bastards 2? Also, Make Nazi Germany Great Again wasn't his campaign slogan, Trevor Noah. Plus, Trump lifted the ban on Jewish members after he bought Mar-a-Lago Slim on Fact Shady. Just so we're clear. Glad we got that out of the way. Chelsea Handler is a busted, blotchy, golden showered-hued, colorless, dry Barbie with Nazi roots from New Jersey with 0.0 class. Now that is a very appropriate Nazi smear. She actually, go on Ancestry.com and look it up. She did one of those docs on Channel 13. Turns out that she does have relatives that are Nazis. If that isn't poetic justice, I don't know what is. There's also a video on the internet of Jason Biggs literally giving her a golden shower on a speedboat, and they're all laughing. She's like, ah, and she's like loving it. So she deserves it. Oh, and I'm sorry, Chelsea Handler. Now she's a full-time social justice warrior activist. So we could all focus less on her tit-sagging popularity. Let me sum up the Obama 8 years in office for you, okay? For 8 years, I never heard, I love him. Comedy Central executives felt the same way when they re-signed Trevor Noah for the foreseeable future. I was reading the other day on the internet, Germany is searching all of its army barracks for any hidden Nazi literature and memorabilia. That's like Easter for George Soros. So this is advice from my two sons. Active dads tend to be active granddads. But if your father-in-law is a Nazi apologist, all bets are off, kid. I'd spend winter break with our kind in Florida instead. Even Muslim girls don't sport black socks on South Beach during Christmas Day. So I also read on the internet yesterday that in Detroit, they had a all-female Muslim girls' prom. So the prom was like mine. Pork free. Followed by crying under my sheets from dusk till dawn. And just to reminisce a little bit, how is Obama voted the most admired American again? As of last year, 2017, Barack Obama was voted most admired American. Gifting nuke money to Iran, whose sole mission in life is to wipe Israel off the map, is admirable? Yeah, if you still go to Marilyn Manson concerts and play dress-up Nazi like Prince Harry. Caitlyn Jenner. I saw Caitlyn on Bill Simmons, his show. Bill Simmons. I love how he tries to act tough. You're from Greenwich, Connecticut. You're not fooling anybody. And you're not nearly as punchy as you think you are. And your writing's not that great. So, Caitlyn Jenner was on the show, and he asked a question about Kanye. He's like, hey, Kanye. And Caitlyn Jenner had a nice comment about Kanye, being his own man, his own thinker, and I really respected that. And Caitlyn Jenner was not that annoying during the interview. Didn't really pontificate that much. But then I remember reading, not too much afterwards, after Caitlyn Jenner wrote a book, and what I learned from this book is that Caitlyn Jenner actually doesn't hear from his daughters anymore. Which makes sense to me, And this is why. Because if I made 50 grand per Instagram post, I wouldn't be calling my father anytime soon either. My friend Jared Abramowitz loves that joke. I'm still expecting for you to respond to the Hey Cortana, Hey Jew joke. So, I was talking about Caitlyn Jenner. And I was talking about Charlie Rose. So, I was going to do a couple of more impersonations of Charlie Rose over here. Charlie Rose. Here we go. This Charlie Rose on the Me Too movement interviewing Louis C.K. This Charlie Rose. How does it feel? Louis, how does it feel knowing they took down all of your comedy specials on HBO and Netflix? And Louis C.K. responds with this. Charlie, the Rocky statue is going down next because it does promote white supremacy. Remember how much Rocky whips Mr. T's ass in Rocky 3? Charlie Rose interviewing Ashley Judd. And this is just Charlie Rose by himself, actually. Why is Ashley Judd the face of the Me Too movement again? I'm sorry. This is Charlie Rose interviewing George Clooney. George Clooney says, so Ashley Judd refused to watch Harvey Hair Clumps Weinstein shower himself down in his 5-star suite at the Four Seasons. Ooh! Also, George Clooney adds, Ashley Judd is also from Kentucky, like myself. So, let's be honest here, Charlie. She definitely has plenty of experience judging her fair share of fat pigs at the county fair. So, Kanye West, I retweeted a gazillion of his tweets. Again, this is episode 16. Kanye West knows friendship best. But, Kanye, there's going to be a limit to my love for you over here. Especially when I got to hear tweets such as, the world is our family. It's a little much, Kanye. Please revert back to Obama bashing immediately. At this point, Charles Bukowski, my favorite poet, no offense, would have already drowned you out by cranking up some good old Gustav Mahler. True story. Outside of my house, doing gardening work for my wife. Beautiful day here in Croton Falls. Beautiful hamlet, Croton Falls. Right off of Metro North. Can't wait to interview other do-it-all dads. I really do not want this podcast to be pure enlargement, pure ego enlargement therapy. I want to hear your stories. I want to hear how you're raising your kids. I want to hear how you raise your kids in the age of Trump. Me too. Everything. So juicy platform. Let your hair down. Let it rip. Where else are you having these conversations? Are your friends visiting your kids? Probably not. Let's talk about it. Are you a member of the NRA? How do you plan to defend your family if someone attacks your house? Right now, I have no freaking clue. Me, I'm going to try a headbutt move that I've never unleashed before. That's all I got going for myself. Obviously, I need to change things. But these are things we could talk about. How do you plan on raising drug-free children? It's a major issue. Let's talk about it. Do it all dad here. Dad-friendly entertainment and educational empowerment for you and me. Reach out to me. All my contact information is on Twitter and LinkedIn. doitalldaddhere@outlook.com. I look forward to hearing from all of you. I got 3 kids. I just don't have all this time to hound guests to interview. But you are always welcome. I love you all. I want to develop friendly relationships with you. So my children can develop good friendships, potentially, with your children. Because I don't want my children, I'm going to say it right now. My close friends, I love. And I wish I can clone them. I love them. But I'm not like Eddie Vedder where I can count on every finger. Okay? That's not my case. Not complaining. At all. But I want my friends as a whole to have more friends that will visit their children if they are blessed and fortunate enough for God to give them children, healthy children, any children, but ideally healthy for themselves. I pray for that. Hunter S. Thompson, one of my other favorite writers, up there with Bukowski, says that when you get older, good friends really decorate your life. I love that. I think Hunter S. Thompson, he had lots of good friends, although he blew his brains out. I don't really get that at all. And he was boys with Johnny Depp. Great line by Hunter S. Thompson here. Because Del Toro and Johnny Depp and Sean Penn, all these guys, they'd hang out with them. And they play with his guns. And he was like a real gun nut. And Hunter S. Thompson said, actors love to play with guns. Great line. It's like so perfect. Less truly is more. Which is why I really want to keep these podcasts down to a half hour. But obviously, I'm just a wellspring. I'm a tsunami of borderline A-list material that I got to get out there. Obviously, I have things to say. God put me here to make my presence felt and to share my words of wisdom regarding what I've gleaned from parenting here on the home remote work front. So I could talk about Kanye and how Kanye West knows friendship best. So Kanye West, so this is a true story. So I'm talking about Kanye this entire time. FedEx guy comes out, African American. I got Bob Marley blaring, true story, Natural Mystic playing. I got the Songs of Freedom box set on shuffle. He approaches me, and I say, without missing a beat, I skipped coffee this morning because I feel the dragon energy roaring through my veins. Roaring laughter ensued. And then I followed up with F. Whitey out of the blue. And then I said, I don't recall Trump abandoning black people after Katrina. And the laugh roarage continued. It's my impersonation of merger talk between Dr. Dre and Eminem. Hey, Slim, Microsoft paid $3.7 billion for LinkedIn. Word! LinkedIn is lamer than ever, yo. Eminem got his start with Death Row alum Dr. Dre 30 years later, and now he cares about curbing violence in America? Wigger, please. As a kid, I wasn't scared of NWA videos, but the idea of clicking on the NRA website engulfs me with fear from head to toe. Like I'm a sound engineer who was caught effing around with Dr. Dre's mixing board at Death Row back in the day. I will get past this. Or else I am truly not a man. Remember when Van Jones said, I want Trump to be more confessional like Jay-Z? At the time I was thinking, I will not lose is implied in every tweet. Dude. Canada is our number one ally. That's like saying Meek Mill is more important to Jay-Z than Benny Siegel back in the day. And just as meaningless. Beyonce doesn't want fans to post unflattering pics of her from Coachella online. But Jay-Z needs a new reason to write his next cheating song in her honor. Lemonade. That cool, refreshing drink. So, and like I said, I've always liked Kanye. People forget he wrote Black Republicans with Jay-Z. I'm not trying to make this a Republican-Democrat thing. I don't subscribe to labels. I'm above labels. I'm with Kanye in that. I'm all about Make America Great Again. And being my own independent thinker. And not buying into groupthink. But that is a really cool song, Black Republicans. And again, they recorded that same album at the Mercer. It's like in the most pristine, primo location of Soho. Right down the street where Heath Ledger had rented out a loft. He was spending like $20,000 a month, I think, in rent before he died. His daughter shares my name, Matilda, actually. And again, I love Kanye West for calling out his fake friend Jay-Z for not making any effort to visit his newborn son, North. I hope I got that right. So, all I got to say is this, folks. If you don't have children, fellas, bang out a kid. And if your friend visits your child in the first year, he's passed the friendship litmus test. Bang out another kid. It's okay if they don't rush to see them as fast. But they do need to request face-to-face time with your child. Because your child, your children, I understand that friends, when they become your friends, they fall in love with you. And I get that. They didn't fall in love with your future unknown fetus offspring. However, if you grow up with these people, either your friends are supporting you and building you up, or they're tearing you down, ignoring you, and not really giving a shit. And I hate to paint it in such black and white terms, but I just want to praise Kayne West for calling out the Jigga Man for being a fake friend, and for giving other do-it-all dads props for teaching their children the importance of what real friendship is. And I'm not saying that visiting your children's kids is the end all to the be all that truly determines whether the relationship's going to last or not. But it really shouldn't even be a what if. It should just be a matter of when. But it's also a two-way street, and don't expect your friend to like be doing cartwheels in your honor if you don't even know like what fucking law firm he works at when you haven't even asked the question or even gotten his LinkedIn profile for the past 3 years. Do It All Dad Year Podcast. That was for you, Stink Bomb. Do It All Dad Year Podcast. Dad-friendly entertainment for you and me. Controlling our kids through comedy can make our kids great again. I love you, Kayne West. I love all my friends who have always loved me, who've always celebrated me, came out to all my comedy shows, who've read a lot of my scripts, who've given me words of encouragement when other people have not. I love you long time for it, and I don't care that you haven't seen my son Samuel yet. I know you care. I love you forever. This is for Kayne West. Kayne West knows friendship best. Talk to you guys soon.